Welcome to Perpetual Backlog Podcast, your gaming podcast that even though when I say that I'm going to play video games this week, I play video games, but not the ones that I should be playing this week. I'm your host, like always, Aqua, and joining me is Dalit.
Hey, it's me.
And Leek.
Hello, it's me as well.
Yeah, so, Dalit, since you're the person that got one day of gaming in.
It's fantastic. It was my birthday.
Woo!
So I
He's
proceeded
old.
to do... all right. Didn't realize we were doing this. But yeah, my birthday passed, and one of my favorite things to do on my birthday is nothing at all. So I sat down and I played a lot of Monstrum Nox, and I went from halfway through the Dole chapter to now having the entire party and fighting a level 90 enemy over and over because, oh boy, I am gonna grind this one out.
Power leveling.
Yep. Just gonna make the rest of the game a breeze, thanks.
Let me assume it's one of the big chained monsters in a small...
Hey guys, don't forget to sub to the channel if you're into what you're hearing. While you're down there, remember to like the video as much as we like you. You'll be good now.
Big
Maybe.
chain. Yeah, that's like the one level 90 that I ran into.
Yeah, that I assume we were talking about the same one. So that is literally as far as I've gotten. It's perhaps not as far as I would have liked to get in the story.
You're
But
not too far from the end.
Yeah, I just can't help myself though, can I? I filled in the map. I have all of the treasures I can have. I have all the graffiti I can have. I told myself I'm gonna knuckle down. I'm just gonna get through the story. There's a new game plus for later, and I promptly ignored past me because he's a dumbass.
Welcome to
And I
my
did what I
life.
wanted.
Welcome
So yeah,
to my life.
Yeah, that's what I did. I don't think I played anything else. Nope. My plan is to, if I get any more time, it sounds like I'm not very far, so I'll try to complete it by next week, and I will attempt to find time for 7, which is honestly what I should have been playing.
It really sucks you haven't played any of the other East games, because in the
And
final chapter,
Oh.
you get such a payoff for playing the other East games.
Dude, super hot
feels
take.
so good. What?
Super hot take. I'm not that interested in going back and playing them either.
Oh, they're so good though.
Yeah, but
Minus
the only
E7.
thing keeping me with Monstrum Nox, honestly, is the fact that it's a gothic setting. The characters are slightly more edgy than they look in the traditional East games, and Raging Bull is so gratifying to hit things with.
Yeah, I mean,
check
that's
the cow,
fair.
don't you know?
Yeah, I know. That's fair. The uh, the East games that I would say are the ones that you probably should at least pick up and try. East 1 and 2 you can get done really quickly. It's a really old school 80s game that lasts for maybe 10 hours. East Origin, that's a 40-hour game, but you play 3 different people, and that's honestly my favorite one.
Yeah, that's pretty universal. I think a lot of people refer back to it when talking about the more modern East games.
And man, I want to say both Oath and Felghana and Ark of Nepishtim are like those are one of my those are like 2 of my favorites.
I fucking love these titles. What
Oath and Felghana, yeah, and Ark of Nepishtim. Yeah.
What words were just said?
They're related to the game, so like I mean, Oath
Oh,
of
I know.
Felghana
They
is
get brought up.
literally an oath you make in Felghana, because like the place is called Felghana where you're at. And Ark of Nepishtim is like a thing that gets resurrected in that East game.
I think that one in particular was directly brought up in Monstrum Nox. So
yeah, well, so was East 7 and 8 is also directly brought up.
Yeah, obviously, fair enough.
In Monstrum Nox as well. The other ones aren't really. I mean, other than like, sometimes they'll talk about East 1 and 2, which happened like right after another.
It does
But
kill me that I always realize, yeah, you're speaking very specifically about something that I have no idea is going on.
yeah. Memories of Celceta and fuck, E7. I didn't beat E7 because it's not difficult, but it's you can tell it was a PSP / Vita game, and it's the first game that they started doing that the current type of gameplay with that we have now, and it kind of feels not like, I guess the timings are just too tight when it comes to like doing the dodge and the block. So you have to be like really on the ball. So it's a little bit more difficult, and the story is just kind of meh. Celceta is the second time they tried doing that type of gameplay. It's a lot better, but that game feels like it just doesn't end. Same with East 8. East 8 doesn't feel like it ends, but at least East 8 is kind of good.
I heard a lot of people say East 8 is just East 9, but for whatever reason, better. Which, I mean, surprised the hell out of me, because I very much enjoy the setting and
So I think
aesthetic.
the story of East 9 is better. I think the implementation of the raids in East 8 make more sense than the whole little raid things that you have in East 9.
They're easily the worst part of the game. Far and away.
Dimension, yeah.
Anytime I have to go into the Grimwald Nox, I am disappointed.
The raids in East 8 are probably one of the worst things in East 8, but it feels like it's actually it fits within the game, because you're just driving back hordes of monsters that are trying to attack your camp, while the Grimwald Nox in East 9 are just like, oh yeah, we've got to throw you in this thing because of plot device.
Yeah, I know it's going to be paid off here soon, but until now, I've really not enjoyed it.
It's weird.
I feel like if they just explained why earlier, I might be more into it. But playing a Prillis so close to the chest has kind of done nothing but harm the story and her character. Matter of fact, I think the strongest character in this entire game, despite my appreciation of Raging Bull for all the things, is actually Krisha.
Krisha seems like the second main character of this game.
Honestly. She really does. She really does. She's there with you from more or less the beginning, so she gets all this bonus time to grow.
Yeah.
And it just seems in every subsequent chapter, it always heads back to the Pendletons. So she's always relevant. And that is not true of Credo or of, well, actually, really of anyone.
Well, Credo only gets extra stuff because everything's like connected. Like, a lot of stuff's connected to the knights.
Yeah, exactly. He's less important as a character, but his importance comes from his affiliation with the antagonists, kind of.
Yeah.
And more, I mean, also, I don't dislike Hawk as much as I thought I was going to. He's really keen-eyed, and they use him to validate certain suspicions the player might have. Like, you can figure out who everyone is based on his reaction to them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
needless to say, you're getting to the really good parts of East 9.
I certainly hope so.
Story-wise, it just kind of it gets pretty hype towards the end. I actually really like.
Fantastic.
But that's it. That's all you had.
That's it. That's all I did.
All right, Leek.
Yes.
Crystal Adventures.
I play Final Fantasy 14. No surprise, because that's what I declared last week.
Wait, the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14 that has a free trial that lets you go up to level 60 and play the award-winning expansion Heavensward? That one?
That's right, Aqua. I had a jolly good time.
Go on.
Woohoo! Yeah, no, because as I've mentioned before, LunaCon is only a few days away now, and I am determined to attend. In fact, the schedule is now up on their website, lunacon.net/schedule. Okay, let's have a look. I'm gonna try and attend and like record stuff, whatever, if I can. Depends what my laptop allows me to do. But yeah, I actually made it into Stormblood, so there's a good chance I can get to the places I need to for the convention. Though I have to rewind a little bit by saying how emotional it was to play fighting Ardbert and his crew and stuff.
Aw.
Because
Oh, I'm sure.
Aw.
like now
Heartbreaking.
knowing what I know in Shadowbringers, right? Like this particular quote too. They placed their hopes and dreams on our shoulders and bid us fight for what was good and right. They fought and we fought and we fought until there was nothing left to fight. We won, and now our world is being erased from existence. We did everything right, everything that was asked for us, and still it came to this. And I was like, no, we heard a little bit of
No.
that
Oh,
at the
it's
beginning of
so good.
Shadowbringers, right? When we were floating
And then it pays
through...
off.
oh, crying. And then, oh my god. Then I got to watch the fight between Omega and Shinryu. That
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
cutscene is still really, really, really fucking cool.
It's bonkers, yeah.
It is bonkers because, like, it not only is it a cool fight in and of itself, it also is a very fucking good way to end an expansion. Like, it delivers the importance of what's going to happen next. It shows you how fucking scary these two things are. Holy shit.
Something they kind of lose in Stormblood, which is they didn't end Stormblood very hype, I guess. It was more
Well-
like
Yeah. Because you kind of just like gaze over the crystal tower.
yeah, and just like, oh man, my people are dead.
Really?
Oh, we already know we're going to the
Yeah.
first or whatever, but it wasn't like it's not like so like the final duty of Stormblood was kind of like lackluster when you see what they did with the final duty in Shadowbringers, because that was hype as fuck. Because you get to play as like what is it, 3 or 4 different people in that fucking duty, and it just keeps going back. Like you go from one area to the next area, next area. It's just so cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, you just fight Solidibus and Stormblood. It's just like okay.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, but it's just like the end of Heavensward is actually, I think, one of my favorite endings to any of the expansions.
beautiful.
Even Shadowbringers, right? Even Shadowbringers and stuff like
It makes
that.
you
Like,
sad, 'cause Papa
I'm
Miko died.
so happy to hear you say this.
yeah, because it was just hype. I was really looking forward to going into Stormblood, really. Because then, but what fell off immediately for me though was like 4.0 was good. I enjoyed it, but the pacing was so weird.
Yeah.
Like it built up the importance of going to free Alamigo, and it wasn't really the focus.
And then you go to Doma.
Because we get sent off to Far East. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Suddenly it was all about Dorma. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's why it's really hard to talk about Stormblood so positively next to its little brother and its big brother, because
Yeah.
boy oh boy, it seems like the odd child out, and it's not even really its own fault. It's just it was telling 2 stories at the same time. That's always going to be difficult.
Like, I did like what they did with Ida, now Lise, because she reveals herself to be actually Lise, and even though everyone was like, yeah,
Dun-dun-dun.
we're like, yeah, we knew. Except for the Warrior of Lights going, what? What? Why didn't everyone tell me? Literally
Then
one of the
where's
lines, why didn't you
Ida?
tell me? Yeah, it was very... But then, Papa Lima had passed away in a very parallel, mirrored way of, how, what's his face?
Louis Soir.
Died.
Louis Soir.
Louis Soir, yeah. Even like depicting the same like whiteout and smile, right? And then like that affected Lee so much that it literally drove her to go to Alamigo and take up what she should have been doing, or so she thinks anyway. So, yeah. So we've got that internal struggle with Lise, but it's kind of like you bounce between this story, this person you care about, and then to a completely new nation of people that you have to grow to, like, learn about them and how the empire is affecting them too. And it's just there's so many actors you have to get to know suddenly. Even though we do know Yeah.
I was gonna say my thing is like, oh, I'm gonna go from like Garabanya over to Doma, and then I'm like, wow, I really like it over here more than I like the fucking desert.
That's
Please
fair.
please don't make us go back.
That's fair. I
Ah.
think Leak is about to make a well, she did
Yeah.
just make a really powerful point.
You have to
though.
learn all these new
Mm.
people.
Yeah, I have
It's
nothing to add to that. But yeah.
oh okay okay.
Yeah, no,
Well,
go on.
but you're right. Like honestly, we've had at this point two and change expansions of having Lise. We're super invested in her. And don't get me wrong, Hien is cool, but we have to go from I've heard his name a couple of times to oh, we're pals now. Oh, we're revolutionary buddies now in like 2 cutscenes. It's
Mm.
so fast. Like we just roll up on him with Yugiri and um
He's a friendly guy.
he is, and it's a good thing they wrote him that way. Oh goodness.
He's like,
But
fuck, you're helping me out. Hell yeah.
He is very likable, to be sure, but it's
yeah,
like, what
it's a
about
good thing
Lee?
he's not Ishgardian. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like she I mean, she's just right. Like I genuinely would have loved an authored expansion, and I would have genuinely liked a like a full on liberation patch.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
And then we just kind of like in Stormblood forget completely about Ishgard. You know, the place we helped establish a new
Oh,
body
yeah.
of government and
True.
stuff like that.
No, we go there once.
Fine, We'll
We go
just do
there
our
once.
thing now. You good guys? Yeah.
we go there once and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're we're cool now."
I'm pretty sure we just go there
We've
to
set up a
borrow
new-
Amrik for the end of
Yeah. Yeah.
for the end
Yeah,
of
that's it.
3.0.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
we
I
just
know.
established you into a new body of government. We'll just take the leader. He might die,
Yes,
but you got
exactly.
this, right? It's fine.
You've only been a republic for what?
10
days?
Oh,
You've had
they
a week.
go into the fucking it's the fucking time stuff as well. Like, how long does this take place? Like, what? I don't know what's going
A
on.
few months.
I love
Everything happens so
14.
fast.
I love 14, but its use of time is absolutely fucking horrendous.
Yeah. So I'm just in Ralga's Reach now. I've done like a few of the MSQ quests there.
Oh.
And I've been to basically Lisa's hometown, and this is interesting. This is very interesting part. I like the early part of Stormblood very much because it puts Lise and Fordola in
Yes.
two very different places, even though
Oh,
they
yeah.
kind of come from the same type of origin. Both their fathers died, right? Both of them have died. At least their family members have.
Well, yeah.
And like,
Well, Lisa's like parents died like
yeah,
fighting
and
while,
sister,
while
obviously Ida has, yeah.
Fordola
Yeah,
died.
and
Parents died by being stoned.
Fordola's father did.
Yeah.
A mother's still about, I think, or something like that. But yeah, like they both had losses, and like they both had to experience the Empire from very different perspectives, and I thought that was really fucking interesting. Especially the way they've written them as well. Like they're at heads to head a few times throughout 4.0. And I really wish they'd do more with that. there are moments where like Fodola's in jail later on, and she has to like confront how she's behaved and what her choices she's made and that kind of thing. And she hooks up with Ironvold, blessed good boy. I love him to death.
He is such a
I'm
good boy.
happy. I'm so happy they brought in Arenvold because, like, through freaking ARR, I was like, you're half Gallian. That's very interesting. Please do more with you. Oh no, your two friends have died. That's really sad. Poor Arenvold. I hope you're
Aw.
okay. They brought you armor. That's so nice. And then he comes in wearing that fucking armor. I flipped. It was great. Anyway,
it's too bad they don't put that philosophy on Una Kalahai.
Yeah, it really is.
Who? Who are you talking about? I know not this name. But yeah, it's like that those elements I love very, very much. And yeah, I don't know. I think someone said earlier they tried to tell too much. That's exactly the problem.
Yeah. It's two stories told at the same time, so
Yes. But they fixed that well, they fixed a lot of problems with Shadowbringers, though, in that regard. So they must
Oh
have
yeah.
basically, yeah, it was very good. So,
Okay.
Ralgus
Shout out to
Beach.
Natsuko
I'm-
Ishikawa.
yeah.
Seriously though.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I am. I'm
That's
gonna
it.
make it to Kugane before LunaCon, and I'm gonna just hang about. There's 3 days packed full of stuff. There is events. There's like talks. There's like stage reborn style plays being put on by another in-game production company. I would say company, free company. But yeah, there's like famous streamers. I say famous within our community, famous streamers. Being doing this stuff. There's the main events are being live streamed. I'm not
Yeah, I
sure
know there's
much about side
panels.
events.
There's panels.
There's
Gonna be
panels, yeah.
there. Yeah.
So can you give us that
Lots of things.
website one more time so to go to find more information?
Yes, it is lunacon.net. And if you want to know the set schedule, /schedule.
Hey.
I actually did the action too, /. But yes, a lot of fun.
All right, that's good.
Oh,
So I played some Tales of Symphonia this
Mhm.
week. I think I have a third of the game left. So I'm in the part of the game where it's probably gonna get a lot easier. Because after having a bunch of levels and having the OP title on Lloyd, he kind of hits like a truck right now. So
I bet.
and I'm in the middle of getting the devil arms in that game.
oh yeah.
The devil arms, for people that don't play Tales games, sometimes they put them in Tales games, sometimes they don't. What it is that you collect these however many party members you have. So in this game it's 8. You collect 8 weapons that are called the devil's arms. All right.
Ah, okay.
A guy usually contracts you to like pick these up. All right, and then you get all the weapons, and then you fight the guy that contracted you to get these weapons. All right. After you beat this person, he unlocks the special power of these weapons, which increases their attack power and like just whatever they do, like by a crap ton. And then every time you beat an enemy in the game, it increases the stats.
They're broken and they make you more broken. It's grand.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah,
what? Every time you defeat an enemy?
Yeah, every time. So if there's 4 enemies in a battle, you get stats up for those 4 enemies.
How much do they go up by each time?
It's 1 point each kill.
Okay.
But
so
in Azilia, I had max statted devil arms. It's ridiculous. It is disgusting. Like in Azilia, you can get 9,999 statted out weapons, and it's just dumb. You like on unknown, you're like fucking like 3 hitting shit. It's ridiculous. So I'm doing that. I still don't like the game.
Up and we're negative again. Okay.
Still don't like the game. It's getting to a point where it's tolerable. I'm waiting till the point where I get to kill Zelos, so I can be like, yeah, fuck you, Zelos.
Why?
Because he is annoying, and he's a player.
I mean, that is true. Both of those things are true.
And
are they worthy of murder?
Yes,
well,
they are
murder,
very.
But,
he's also a traitor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fuck him. If I could have killed Alvin and Azilia, I'd have killed him. Oof. Especially when he did to Leah.
Okay, that's fair though.
What do you do to this Leah?
He shot her in the back.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, quite literally.
Quite literally, he has a gun. He shoots her in the back.
That's cowardly.
Yeah. I mean,
he'd agree with you.
Yeah,
but it would still be true.
Yeah, he agreed with you. He fessed up and apologized and everything and asked for forgiveness and all that stuff. And if they made us fight him to the death, I would have been okay with killing him. This is also Matt Mercer's character. So we're talking about here. So I would have gladly have murdered Alvin if they would have let me, but they didn't. So yeah, I have about a third of the game to go through. One annoying thing about the game was like I had to go do this dungeon, and then in the dungeon there were things in the dungeon that forced you to go out of the dungeon to other parts of the world to get through this dungeon. And I was like, this is fucking annoying. I had to go in there, and then we're like, oh, there's a gnome that's in this other dungeon that you need to give a potion to so he can be here so you can actually get past this other gnome. I'm like, okay, or whatever. And then about 2 gnomes later, it's like, oh, well, you need a spicy recipe to get past this gnome. So I had to fucking go out and get a fucking recipe for curry so this fucking gnome can eat it. And I'm just like, this is annoying. This is like so much time wasting. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm chugging along that. I was gonna be streaming that today, but I decided not to because I was busy playing the other game that I've been playing this week, which
Oh.
I turned on.
Hey,
Genshin
Aqua, what's
Impact
that?
this week? I turned on Genshin Impact this week.
You're back on it, are you?
I
because
wonder why.
Ayaka, finally in the game. So I rolled for her, got her.
Oh, congrats.
Which is good. Yeah. I didn't happy got her, which was C6 immediately, and she's like almost maxed out. Like he'll have her talents done by the end of next week, and then she'll be like completely maxed out. But he also had like over 100,000 Prima Gems plus a bunch of fucking fate to spend on her, and he got her within like 200 pulls, I think. So he got her C6 in like 200 pulls. If I recall correctly.
Wait, in 2010 pulls, he's C6 to?
I think
That's
so.
actually pretty good. What the fuck?
Yeah, he still has a lot of stuff left, which means he's going to be spending that on most likely Ball when she comes out in 2.1.
I am not surprised.
I saw the boss fight against her in this patch. She's badass as fuck.
Well, yeah, she's got the titty sheath, doesn't she? So, I mean,
she does have the titty sheath, but I mean, she's
yeah,
badass as fuck.
I've seen her boss fight since I didn't plan on jumping back in immediately. It is.
I'm like, probably gonna get her
to watch.
I'm like, because I didn't save up Prima Gems for Ayaka. So when the night she came out, I just dropped 50 on her and got her. Also C2'd Yanfei and C2'd Ningguang. So
yeah,
I
mean, Yanfei is fine and all, but yeah, Ningguang.
Yanfei replaced my Zhongling. So
that makes sense.
I just need to send her a couple more times, and I've been, since I'm world level 4 now, I'm actually getting heroes wits to drop from like the experience ley lines, so I'm actually able to get the fucking purple experience stuff. So that's been good.
Is a caster, right?
Yeah, she's a fire caster, and she's a lawyer, is what she is. She's a leeway lawyer.
Yeah.
So like when you're attacking stuff, she's like she says a bunch of shit ton of lawyer terms when you're like attacking.
That's fair. I mostly ask for casters because casters are wonky in Genshin in that they only do elemental damage, unlike other characters.
Oh yeah.
So
she's really cool. Like she's replacing my Zhongling because I have 3 other attackers that can do physical damage easily. I'm still using Rosaria. I'm still using Official and Venti. So I have a decent amount of physical attack. Though whenever I get Ayaka up, I'm replacing Rosaria with Ayaka. So I've been doing that. I played Genshin all day today, pretty much. I did almost everything. I did almost everything in Dragonspire, which let me tell you, fuck that area. That area is the worst area ever in a video game. Period.
I don't know about that, but it's certainly anti-fun. I get the concept. I have no idea why they thought that was going to be
I
good.
got
I
almost every teleport. I think I'm missing one teleport, and I unlocked a domain in there, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is the most annoying place I have ever been in Genshin. Period.
My assumption is just that they wanted someplace that was consistently challenging, not because of enemy types, just because it is a challenging place to be. But oh boy, oh, it's just not very fun.
No, like now that I have most of the teleports in there, it's all right. There's a couple of enemies in there that are just really annoying. There was this one area where I was where you go in and you activate these like the elemental shrines or whatever by smacking them with cryo or whatever. So I activated them, and then on the left and right side there are ruin gardens. All right, and after you activate it or whatever, they rise up, and then after you kill them, a giant ruin like Giga Guardian or whatever comes up, and that
Yeah,
fight is super annoying because you having to deal with the cold element. All right, and there's like heat shrines that are like that are placed around it, but they rotate, so you have to keep going back and forth in the middle of that fight. And I'm just like, oh my god, this is like I beat him like fairly easy because my official's kind of broken right now. She does like
just you didn't need to say my. You can just say official. It's fine.
Yeah,
That
official
character,
and Venti
is
just do way
really
too much
strong.
damage. Official and Venti do way too much damage. I'm just like, whenever official and Venti die in my party, I'm just like, man, I feel really bad right now. Cause
I mean, it's fine. You have Electro, Pyro, and Anima. That's grand.
Yeah.
I mean, you also have
I have
Cryo.
Cryo. Yeah, I'm using
Okay.
Rosaria, but that's only because I really like Rosaria.
I mean, you can still
I
get the buff with the Cryo and then Fischl's
yeah.
Electro.
Well, but I could do that with Yanfei as well, because Yanfei and Fischl will do superconductive as well, because fire and lightning.
Oh, right. But the effect is slightly different. But yeah, like the point is, goodness, yeah, you just have your elements, you have your trigger character. I imagine you're pretty set, all things considered.
I'm debating on, because while I like Rosaria, and I know I'm going to be swapping her out for Ayaka, I've been debating on just like throwing a bunch of shit into Razor at the moment, and just getting him up and just swap, and just like I'll swap to Fischl to bring out Oz or whatever, and swap back to Razor to have him do like a crap ton of damage, because he does a crap ton of damage.
I'm not a min maxer, so I don't know if like this is like super inoptimal. But I think the team that I stepped away with was Chongyun, Razor, Fischl, and Phil. It'd be Venti or Zhangling.
Yeah, I got Chongyun in the when I was rolling for Ayaka. He was actually the first person I got when rolling for Ayaka. But again,
the little exorcist.
My thing with like, I'm not trying to min max either in Genshin. I have specific characters I like playing as, so it's just like,
No, that's the correct way to approach these kinds of games. So
yeah, so I'm just like, because when Ball comes out, or Raiden, because she's the Raiden Shogun. When she comes out, I might depending on how much damage she actually really does, I might replace Fischl with her, because she's electric. So
I mean, like the upside is she's the correct element that she doesn't need to do the greatest damage in the world. She has such good combinations. It's not like Hydra, which is not great.
No,
and Geo, which is difficult.
I only feel bad for not really having a Geo character when I'm going against stuff that's Geo. I mean,
My guy, I
have Ningguang. I have a Geo character. But...
I have a Geo team. I have Geo Aether, Noel, Ningguang, and someone else. But honestly, they just
I have
battery.
Noel as well. Everybody has
Yeah,
Noel.
yeah. So Noel just does consistent damage. Ningguang does like crit nuke damage, and Aether charges them. It's great.
Yeah, I know Noel's in Happy's main team, so but I'm like, man,
actually a little surprised about that.
I mean,
I'm trying to figure out what role she's filling in his team.
He just goes on her to pop the shield, and then
yeah, that's fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. I think she's the healer, pretty much, because she can. I think the shield heals a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really like any of the Geo characters that much. I mean, Zhongli's pretty cool. But I'm gonna go ahead and say Zhongli's really only cool because of the voice. The voice actor is pretty cool. I
like Zhongli and Ningguang.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember other Geo characters though.
Zhongling's okay.
Or if I said Zhongling, I meant Zhongli.
Yeah, Zhongli. Zhongli's cool. Ningguang's just hot. In my opinion. I don't
level her. She is a cannon.
Yeah, I know. And I don't use my
okay.
I just banged my elbow. Continue.
Oh, I don't use my main character, so I don't use.
That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, I played Genshin quite a bit. What else did I play? I mean, I streamed Japanese, like twice this week. That's been fun. Like I got the numbers the other night, and that was a trip and a half. Did I play anything else? I didn't play 14 this week, surprisingly enough. I delved into a lot of 14 viewing content, but earlier today I was watching people react to the Shadowbringers ending, like both 5.0 ending and 5.3 ending, and that was pretty nice. Jesse Cox cried at the end of 5.0.
It's emotions.
He was crying. But yeah, that's actually all I did this week. So it's been fun. Little doesn't have a question for us, which is not surprising because he sometimes forgets that we do this on Monday. So I wouldn't be surprised if I log into my email tomorrow and see that there's a question there. Like,
hey, we'll just have more for next week.
Yeah. So we talked about 14 a lot this week because a lot of people's playing 14 this week. A lot of people play 14 in general. Enough to where Yoshi P came out with 2 fucking statements in like 2 days.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
Which is pretty funny because he came out. He's like, oh, we're sorry that people are having trouble logging in. It's just because there's so many people playing, because there's more streamers playing and more people are watching the streamers, which are getting more people into playing. I mean, obviously 2 weeks ago they sold out of digital codes for like a couple of hours, and they had to like generate some more. The second time he made a statement, it was like very wholesome because he was talking about how people were saying, oh well, since there's troubles logging in, they're like, oh, I guess we'll stop like AFK dancing in Limsa, or or doing like all these other things, or like oh, we'll log out when we eat or whatever. He goes, no, don't stop doing that. He's like, that's part of playing the game. All right, we want you to do that. That's what he specifically said. He said, I don't want you to feel like you have to do that because we know how exactly, like, people just want to eat their sandwich and they'll sit in game and talk or whatever, or people are like AFK dancing in Limsa or whatever. He goes, that is literally part of the game. That is, if that's how you want to play the game, that's how you play the game. All right. And I was like, I read that, and some people were saying like, this is what makes the dev team so good because they understand. They play the video game.
They understand. Yeah, they
They
probably see like there are like faces you like whenever you walk into a hub city. There are particular faces you do. Like for me, it was like Midgard Summer. It's Mr. Burb. He is just a
Yeah.
giant bird man, and he'll always be there. And like you're there, everything is right in the world. And there's like
Or
other like type of things as well.
or when I'm doing duties in Aether or whatever, and I get into a duty with Anna Banana Chan, and ever, and,
Oh
and
yeah.
all I think about,
My
is me,
goodness.
me and Dad just sit there and we're like, oh, Anna Banana Chan's at our fucking party. And then you
They
know,
have
Anna
no
Banana
chill,
says,
and it's
hi,
amazing.
hi guys,
Yeah.
how you guys doing today? I'm so happy right now to be with everybody in here. You guys are doing great. And then we're like, hi, Anna
Yeah.
Banana Chan.
But yeah, all the AFK dancers as well, all the people you like, they become like
Seriously.
part of furniture almost. Like
Yeah.
if they're not there, it's something's off.
I don't know if you've ever been so lucky as to be one of the first people to log into like any of the worlds just after maintenance. It's so weird to
Yeah.
like just not see everyone there.
Mm.
No, it's great, man. Like, so many people playing 14. They also said that they are throwing a bunch of money at getting more server space, because they understand that a lot of people are starting to play the game. They unfortunately said they do not know if it's going to be ready by Endwalker, which
I
might
hate-
make Endwalker a little more terrifying to go into right off the bat.
Yeah, it might be a bit problematic at first, but I've seen this meme tossed around quite a lot, and I'm actually quite tired of it. But it is pretty apt, and it's Yoshi P suffering from success.
Yeah.
Like
I laughed a few times at that.
Like
I was
it's been thrown around by literally everyone and their dog, but that is actually what's happening here.
No, yeah, he's like, oh,
Game too
nightmare. I can't. What am I doing with all this money? Game definitely too popular. Thankfully they learned from their mistake of Stormblood, which was throwing a duty right off the bat in the beginning of the fucking game.
Yes, Railbound Extreme.
I have a shirt.
Railbound Extreme. Yeah, no, it's one of the things when I went into Stormblood, man. I was doing that part, and I remember there was this like a flashback of a little drop of oh no when that particular cutscene started. I think Demo did an amazing video on this as well. It was like he put this music track on with just like this very small section of cutscene repeating and repeating and repeating. That's all you would see if you managed to get into it.
And it's just like I don't expect that for Endwalker. Like I expect there to be probably a very long queue time to get into the game for Endwalker. But obviously they learned from Stormblood. They're not going to throw in an instance duty right off the bat. And if they do, I'm just going to be like, Yoshi P, come on, man. Come on. Well, I mean,
you knew.
You knew. I mean, I'm going to be there in
it's
line
fine.
with everybody.
Yeah, we'll have a line
hey,
party. It's
like,
we did.
hey.
To be fair, if
brings
this
back
happens,
memories.
if this happens, then all the newbies will just get an authentic expansion experience.
Yeah.
Because I do love how the community just forms lines. We're all very kind. It's like something that I like over the past couple years that MMOs just do now. No one plays the dickhead and tries to skip. We just stand in line, have a chat, and wait.
It's all part of the experience.
Absolutely.
And it I mean like in those messages from Yoshi P, it just goes to show that like you can assume that the workplace at Square right now is a pretty probably a fully like a little bit wholesome area. Well, it might be stressful because of just the times that we're in right now, but you can definitely tell they all like each other, which is something you probably can't say for Blizzard at the moment.
Ooh.
Especially this past week. For those that don't know, California, a specific part of California, is suing the absolute hell out of Blizzard right now for sexual harassment and discrimination towards women, and just having an overall shitty
Activision
work
Blizzard,
environment.
right?
Yeah, Activision Blizzard, yes.
Yeah.
And I forget what's the department called. Department of Fair Employment and Housing.
And
It
is.
He's right.
Yeah, Department of Fair Employment and Housing. I've heard it like 12 billion times, so it's like kind of stuck in my head right now.
Yeah.
Yes,
an agency of the state of California. Yep.
Yeah.
This is Activision Blizzard Inc.
Yeah. Well, when you can't sue Blizzard without suing Activision because they're a full company now. Well, like back in 2010 when they merged, it literally went to Activision Blizzard. They're just a full parent company. But it's mainly, but from what I hear, it's mainly prioritized on the Blizzard side of the dev teams.
Yeah.
So there's the lawsuit. There's at least 100 of employees that have corroborated the whole entire thing, saying that this is completely true. There's at least definitely a few past employees that have came out and said that this is 100% true. Pretty much what they talk
and the investigation.
About.
The
investigation was 2 years.
Is going from 2 years as well.
Yeah.
So isn't just out the blue. This isn't for like just this year. It's 2 years investigation. Yeah.
And the lawsuit goes and says that the employee the culture there is like it was like a frat boy culture. A lot of the men there are they're drinking on the job. They're doing these things called cubicle crawls, where they will get drunk and they'll just crawl through the. Now, every time I read this, I don't know if they're legitimately crawling, or if it's like a pub crawl.
No.
Oh, have you never been on a pub crawl? Yeah,
I've never been on a pub crawl.
It's not actually crawling.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of people were saying that they're actually crawling.
Unless they were that drunk,
Well, yeah, let's say, there might have been one or two people who were actually crawling.
But it's like a pub crawl. They're going from cubicle to cubicle, sexually harassing the women there, trying to hit on them, groping them. Pretty much
that's not
disgustingly
the only thing.
heinous shit.
It's not the only thing. I mean, the title of this this thing is a Civil Rights and Equal Pay Act complaint for injunctive and monetary relief and damages. So it's also harassment as well as sex discrimination as well as harassment and that kind of thing. So but yes, this is one of the things that really hit people hard.
Oh yeah. And some of the other things is women being passed up for like promotions just because they're women, just because they have the ability to become pregnant, and they don't want that. Women that are lactating, they're getting kicked out of their lactation rooms for meetings. There was in this is in the lawsuit as well, talks about there was a woman that took her life on a trip, on a work trip, because she was in a bad relationship with one of her supervisors, and they were at one point in time they were passing around nude photos of her. It's very disgustingly heinous shit. And what's even worse about it is that the management is the words from the management, from the three things we've heard from management, were really like off base and tone deaf as hell. Both from J. Allen Brack, from the woman that they hired to make a statement, and from the who was it else? The is it Fran's the person that they hired from the administration.
Mm.
They all came out with statements, and then one was blaming the department that was suing them, saying that this is an unjust uh lawsuit. Jayon Brax like tooted his own horn, saying that he didn't know this was happening, and that when he was hired, when he was like stepping up with to take over Mark Morheim, is that his name? Mark
Morheim, yeah.
Yeah. When taking over his place 2 years ago, that he was touting off that he believed in this one person, Gloria Steinberg, her like overall point of view, like women are great and everything. He was touting off like it was very tone deaf. I think the only good statement that ever came out was Mark Morheim actually came out with a statement saying that he's saying that it's that he failed like his employees, which by the way, chances are all of this stuff was happening throughout like decades, which is stretching back into his when he was running it, which was just over 3 years ago. Because this just didn't happen when Jayon Brack came up. This 100% was happening under his supervision as well. But he came out with a statement that was actually like something that Jayon Brack should have came out with, at least. Stating that he failed his employees, that this is very unjust, and that they're gonna work towards the future, like of having because this isn't just Blizzard. A lot of gaming companies at the moment are having this problem. Riot had this problem 2 years ago, but that apparently got swept under the rug, because a lot of shit came out against Riot, but nothing really ever happened. Ubisoft had this problem.
A settlement, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah. Ubisoft had this problem, and apparently they kicked a lot of people out of Ubisoft. Because of that, so I'm not hearing too much of that. And there's probably a lot of like under AAA developers that are probably having this problem as well that we're not hearing about. And so there really needs to be like an overall adjustment throughout this whole entire industry, because this is disgusting. Did you want to go over like these statements?
Well, if you wanna handle this, so do you wanna go from, because sexual harassment and stuff wasn't just the only thing. It was pay gap as well that was brought up. That's one of the main points of this.
Yeah, saying people getting passed over for the
legal.
for
it was also where
promotions.
people were treated not just sexually either. It was, for example, point 40 of the document highlighted women of color are particularly vulnerable to discriminatory practices, such as unfairly micromanaged, while their peers were not.
Yeah, no, one lady said that. One lady said it took her 2 years to become a permanent employee of Blizzard. While men and like just like not like another like a white person would come in and they'd work for like 2 months and you'd be immediately made into a permanent employee.
Yeah, and then there was like HR was not helpful at all, which is one of their jobs. They should help out in this particular sort of situation. But there was like people who came forward with this were subject to retaliations. That that is like that would put people off coming forward.
Well, a friendly reminder. A friendly reminder is something that a lot of people they think ideally and they don't think practically about this. Always remember, HR is not your friend. No. HR is there to protect the company first, then the employee.
Well, it certainly acted like that, yes, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame. It's a damn shame. But that is just how kind of the world works at the moment. And this is just more leaning into that. Because you're right,
Yes.
HR should have absolutely stepped in to make sure that these poor women were not A, being underpaid for their position, B, being passed over, and C, sure as hell not being assaulted sexually or otherwise.
Yeah.
For sure, definitely. And there was other things like they had to sign waivers not to like for example never to go to to enact any civil rights like legal
Yes.
Yeah.
actions and stuff like that. So like they weren't even allowed to protect themselves. That's awful.
One lady
Uh,
had to write an essay on what she was going to do on her, like, because she was asking for some leave. All right, she had to
yeah,
write, her superior made her write a 1 page or 1 to 2 page essay on,
yeah, that was in point 40. Yeah,
on what she
yeah.
was going to be doing on her break. Like,
hmm
who the fuck has to do that? Like,
It's silly.
literally, no, like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. If I had to do that, I'd been like, okay, I fucking quit, because
Mhm.
like, at that point in time, that there needs to be an overhaul of this company in general.
Yeah.
Because this is extremely deep seated.
Yeah.
So
If you
all
want
of
to go
management needs
for,
to.
if you want to watch a pretty damn good breakdown of all these of the legal document, I would
Mhm.
suggest going to Hogue Law
Yep.
on the YouTube channel. They do virtual legality. That's what the show's called.
Yeah,
And
and
they
they
did
were
a
on
pretty like understandable breakdown. You can it's layman's terms almost, so you can I don't have to know legal jargon to
Yep,
listen.
and they were on Work to Game today being Monday. Um,
Yeah.
Talking with Brian and fuck, I can't remember the other guy's name. Uh,
Aqua plays
Work the game.
favorites.
I know, but because Brian's an easy name to remember. I think it's Chris. Chris, there
Yeah.
we go. Brian and Chris.
Work the game. Also YouTube channel.
Yeah, also YouTube channel.
Yeah. There you go.
They were streaming on Twitch today, and they had Hogue on talking about
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
process. It's it's ridiculous. Because,
Hmm.
like, I mean, they're just it's amazing how stuff gets this far. All right. Um, because, like, at some point in time, you'd think that that, like, I mean, and this is the breaking point, obviously.
Hmm.
It's gone on long enough that somebody got brought in somebody to do an investigation for 2 years, and there's obviously enough evidence at the moment that California was like, okay, yeah, we're fucking gonna bury him, all right.
Mhm.
And which needs to happen. Like, that whole management team needs to be gutted. HR needs to be gutted. You need to bring in fresh meat. Um, Bobby Kotick probably needs to get the fuck out of there. We already know he's horrible as shit.
Yeah.
That it's just ridiculous. How it can get this far. Like, I had a point that I was about to make. But, like, everything's just blown out of my mind because, like, I'm just, like, sitting here thinking, like, holy shit. I know, not Asmongold, like, Zach Rahr, who's the personality of, who does the personality Asmongold. He came out with a video earlier today talking about how it's now understandable how the games have gone down in quality from Blizzard over the past, like, at least 5 to 10 years. Because if you're in a position where probably, like, a majority of your staff is being, like, ostracized and not and like having a really shitty workplace, you're not gonna be in it to make a quality game. And that's honestly probably one of the big reasons why you see WoW going downhill. Ever since, like, 5-10 years ago, or you see, Overwatch always being delayed, or you know, them having to probably outsource like a Diablo, because like I guarantee you, Diablo 2 Resurrection will probably be a decent game, because it's while Vicarious Visions is under Blizzard now, or under Activision, they're their own, they're still their own separate like studio. So if they have a better work environment, the game might actually be decent.
Enjoying the video? Remember to like and sub. Helps out the channel a bunch, and we're grateful for everyone we get.
But you can understand that the games tell you that, yeah, the work environment probably is as shitty as like this lawsuit is saying that it is. Because you're just not going to be like, if it's the environment's that shitty, you're not gonna want to put your effort into making a quality game. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not.
I mean, morale goes a long way, but I will have to
Yeah.
argue that this isn't new.
Yes.
This isn't new. This has happened for decades. Like,
Yeah,
it's
no.
happened for decades. The only difference now is that people are able to come forward with it to some degree. They have the means to. Like, it's been more and more open that people care and are trying to make a difference. Like, this is why every year there is an annual industry-wide like survey for wages. They're doing this more and more now every year. They're asking people to come forward with certain things, and like, there is now accountability. That but reason why we're hearing about it more and more is because they're able to come forward.
And it needs to get more light, because this whole industry needs to change, because it's happening in all these other game companies. It's just obviously people are not like willing to step forward, but the more light it gets, the more people are going to be willing to step forward and talk about it, and like actually.
We'll have to see how this, because we can talk about, I suppose, the responses now, if we're going to move on forward from that, because this has happened for years, and I guess the reason why it hasn't really changed is because people in charge have not changed or been held accountable, or any significant steps have been taken, and it's all performative and that kind of thing. So I guess we can, like, there's an official response by the company, and there are other non-official responses, including one internal email that was given to the employees, that didn't get a good reception from the employees themselves either. So yeah,
Well,
yeah.
like I said, we had that one response from J. Allen Brack, who just touted off himself. And all he talked about how he was appalled about it, and that, like, when he took over for Mike Morhaime, that he would like make sure it's like a good place, and that he's like it was all about him and not about like the whole situation.
Well, yeah, it was mostly using himself. Well, trying to set himself apart from what was happening, which is cheeky.
Yeah.
But also just see, this was leaked, and this feels like the sort of thing that's leaked on purpose to kind of try to gain brownie points, which is a bit dishonest. But Jalen Brack is definitely the face of Blizzard right now. We've seen him come out wearing his little pride pin and talking about a voice for everyone, despite very obviously hearing from the inside that was not the case. So to see a hollow reaction from Brack is expected and unsurprising. It's quite literally at the moment his job. And I suspect he'll probably have to lay down on his sword for this one.
Oh yeah, I assume. Yeah, I assume we'll probably see him step down, fairly soon. Most likely.
Yeah, things we have to keep an eye on is performative stuff.
Which you will see so much of. Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
a lot of it. Yeah.
They will say and do the right things for the moment, and then not actually, is it sincere? We don't know until we see their actions. So,
There was
yeah. Do you want to
another.
go over what he wrote?
I'm trying to look.
Like,
Trying to look for it.
I
I don't have
got you.
that.
I got you.
Because what I have up right now is the letter from
This one?
No, I
There you
have
go.
the letter. I have the letter from the employees.
You have the letter? I've got the email. Oops.
Yeah, me and Leek seem to
E-
be looking at the same thing.
There you go. That's the email by the lady.
Oh yeah, this is from well that's from Jay Allen Breck. That one is okay, and this one's from
The
Fran.
bottom one. Yep. What was the leaked thing?
No, not the leak thing. I'm looking at so this is the thing that just came out today. The over 800 Blizzard employees are they wrote like a letter slamming Blizzard, and they have a bunch of stuff signed.
Okay.
So we'll go over this J. Allen Brack one first. So he goes, "Hello Blizzard. I personally have a lot of emotions coming out of yesterday. I know you do too. The allegations and the hurt of current and former employees are extremely troubling. I know many of you would like to receive more clarity. While I can't comment on the specifics as it's an open investigation, what I can say is that the behavior detailed in allegations are completely unacceptable. It goes with saying that it's completely unacceptable for anyone in the company to face discrimination or harassment. It goes with saying that everyone should feel safe working here, whether are on campus at BlizzCon or working from home. It goes with saying that it takes courage to come forward and claims to the company that investigations by internal or when needed and external investigations. We take these claims very seriously. Claims can be made without fear of retaliation, which is a lie. And many times I tend to them personally, which is true, but also bad because he just goes, hey, Alex, Afrasabi, slap on the wrist. There you go. Along with our other leaders. Stepping back, when I talked with Bobby about taking this job, one of the first things I mentioned was a revered saint of the Brack household, Gloria Steinem. Growing up, the value of women as equals, understanding that work had been done for equal treatment, and the fact that there is still much to do. Were common themes. Just one of the reasons why the fight for equality is incredibly important to me. People with different backgrounds, views, experiences, and for Essentials or Blizzard or teams, and our player communities. I disdain bro culture and have spent my career fighting it. Iterating on the culture of the same intensity that we bring to our games and imperative, with our values acting as our North Star. This is some of the most important work that we do, both as professional and human beings. And he goes on to say that, the company is more than a legal construct, that exists on a piece of paper in a filing cabinet in Delaware. He says the leadership team will be meeting to answer your questions and discuss how you're going forward. I want you to know that you can talk to any manager, HR partner, or anybody part of the legal team, or anybody in the executive team, including Hey Jay, which is himself. If you feel more comfortable talking to someone outside of Blizzard, prefer to be anonymous, you can contact the Way to Play Integrity line. He feels angry, sad, and a host of other emotions, and he feels grateful to work alongside the set of leaders and thousands of employees who join in their commitment for continuous improvement. This is corporate BS that he had to say right here, because most of the people have went to managers, HRs, and other members of legal teams or whatever, and they all get shot down or retaliated against, which is another lie that he stated earlier on. And I said, there's this one paragraph where he's talking about how taking the job, he he talked about the revered saint of the Brack household, Gloria Steinem, saying that he's been all against this, but has known all about, Alexis, I barely even know how to say his name. I think it's like Afrasabi or whatever.
Mm.
And his like dealings with, hitting on and like sexually harassing coworkers at BlizzCon. They even nicknamed his suite as the Cosby Suite for, Bill Cosby and his I think it's alleged rapings, and all that. So like this was a bunch of corporate mumbo jumbo from fucking J. Allen Brack. It was very tone deaf and pretty much on brand from J. Allen Brack, honestly. But this was leaked by the employees because they obviously did not like this at all. Because, like, again, it's very tone deaf. And then this next one is from Fran Townsend, who was a Homeland Security advisor for George W. Bush. And this one pretty much states, because I suck at reading.
Should I do it?
Yeah,
I'll do
yeah,
it.
you
It's
should
okay.
do it.
All right. Yeah. So they brought on this lady here. She essentially hasn't worked for the company very long. But I guess they wanted like a woman to say something to sound like, oh look, we totally listen to women, and we put them in positions that they can tell people things. That she's in a high position here. Listen to her. Surely, if her words, you should be held to account to this. So this email was also not well received by employees. They were actually really pissed off by this. So everyone, as executive sponsor of the ABK Employee Women's Network and our Chief Compliance Officer, I want to reach out to you. I know this has been difficult for many of us. A recent filed lawsuit presented a distorted and untrue picture of our company, including factually incorrect, old, and out of context stories, some from more than a decade ago. So immediately she's saying, there's fucking liars in this lawsuit. It's like, what? There's like immediately disregards like any complaints have been made and stuff. So that's a good start. The Activision companies of today, the Activision companies that I know, the company I've just started working for, are great companies with good values. When I joined the executive leadership team, I was certain that I was joining a company where I would be valued, treated with respect, and provided opportunities equal to those afforded to the men of the company. She's already in a very high position, by the way. So for me, this has been true during my time.
Respect is what it is.
Yeah. For me, this has been true during my time. As a leader, I am committed to making sure that the experience I have is the same as the rest of the organization. Everyone below me. That wasn't in the letter. We have a leadership team that is committed to these principles in every way. I am proud to be part of the company that takes a hardline approach to inappropriate or hostile work environments and sexual harassment issues. Our Speak Up campaign reinforces our zero tolerance for retaliation against those who do speak up. We have made insignificant investments to foster our inclusive behaviors and to reflect greater diversity within our leadership teams, including investigating and strengthening our DE&I employee networks, creating a global network to bring together the efforts in our business units, and the introduction of executive sponsors, introducing learning and development programs, including inclusive hiring training, amplifying internal programs such as the Way to Play Heroes and the recurring Speak Up campaign, reinforcing channels for employees to report violations, including the Ask List, introducing an employee relations team dedicated to investigating employee concerns, and continuing to require all employees to take equality and diversity training, including anti-harassment training, and have done so for many years. We put tremendous effort into creating fair compensation policies that reflect our commitment to equal opportunity. We review compensation regularly and feel confident that we pay all employees fairly on for equal and substantially similar work. Ah, we take
Hmm.
proactive steps to ensure the pay and advancement are driven by merit. We reward
Yeah.
performance and we
Honor
conduct
points.
extensive anti discrimination trainings, including for those who are part of the compensation process. We
Yeah.
work at a company that truly values equality and fairness. Rest assured that leadership is committed to continuing to maintain a safe, fair, and inclusive workplace. We cannot let egregious actions of others and truly meritless and irresponsible lawsuit damage
Mm.
our culture of respect and equal opportunity for all employees. We aspire in our company to do great things in our games, in our impact on society, and in our work environment. We continue to hold firm to our principles and invest, as we have in the past, the resources to ensure quality opportunities for all employees. We remain committed as a leadership team to do what is right.
Ah.
So, so yeah, not only have they accused everyone of lying or not being true,
Hmm.
I suppose, or accurate, but they've also saying we totally promote and give payout to how we think they deserve it based on their performance. So they've also like accused of basically saying their employees, like, if they haven't worked as hard enough to like to to be promoted and stuff like that. I was like, you can't do that. No wonder people are pissed off at this. It's
It's a
awful.
very strange thing, though, to dwell on the equal pay, especially since that's the thing that the company decides anyway. Though I suppose it should be noted that whilst I think the internet in general is, um, how do I phrase this, is more disgusted with the constant sexual harassment and allegations of
Hmm.
other misconduct of that nature, it should be reminded that the main cause for the lawsuit and the reason why they probably
Well, that's
spring
just.
to
Oh, I'll let you finish, but yeah.
yeah, the reason why they
Go ahead.
spring to defend it this way is because of the oh god. No, so
Um.
my point is that the harassment lawsuit is actually kind of secondary in the lawsuit itself
Well, the
to
the
the
problem is like the harassment part of the lawsuit or whatever of like fixing that problem is easy. You throw out all the people that are doing it, all right, and you say this is bad, don't fucking do it, all right, and then anybody
Mm.
else that does it or that allowed it to happen gets fucking out, and you say, hey, no, 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 you don't do it. That's the easiest part of this whole thing that they can fix, all right, and I know a
So
lot of
I
people
wanted.
are up in arms about it because it is a disgusting thing, but go
Yes.
ahead.
Oh no, no doubt. It's just what I wanted to say was like the equal rights and discrimination of non-sexual harassment nature is actually the main bulk they're trying to push for this lawsuit. That's the main drive of
yes,
it.
yes,
It's
yes.
just
Yeah.
it's just the sexual harassment and stuff is is something that they really also want to sort out because is basically hand in hand with what's happening within the company. Um, so that's essentially why. I mean, I think also they're making it the main talking point for this as well. It's one of the things they can also dismiss easier because they're
Yeah.
saying here in this email, like it's all performative based. If they haven't performed well, that's why they're getting passed up for promotion and stuff. How do you prove that? Like
They
they're
don't
gonna
have
have
enough. They
to
don't
give
have enough honor
examples in
points.
court.
They don't have
Yeah, they're
enough
gonna have
honor
to get.
points.
Yeah, they're gonna have to prove this in court, though. That's the thing. So,
Yeah.
Yes, and in
we'll
in
see. We'll
regards to
see.
that,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
regards to that, that's just them being absolutely ridiculous, right?
yes.
They have I think they're legally allowed to separate um, the ability to sit down and say you're not eligible for promotion because we say so from you're not eligible for promotion because you're a woman or because you're black or because so on and so forth. So, in so long as the company has given a reason, even if we all know it to be untrue, I think legally they're within their rights, and that's despicable,
Yeah.
to be
Yeah, that's why
sure.
they're trying to
But
do. They're trying
that's
to muddy it, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly, but that's what this entire like section has been. It's just
Yep.
them protecting themselves legally through some dubious statements at best.
Mm, 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 mm.
It's all
Yeah. Once
deflection.
again, I'll
Mhm.
yeah. Once again, I'll point you towards the virtual legality Hogue Law YouTube channel because they break this point down very fucking well too. They
Yeah.
explain this part. It's very
The
good.
the unfortunate thing is that probably a good part of this lawsuit's probably going to get like
Yeah.
not going to get like thrown out a little bit just because of how corporations can just be like, well, I mean, we did do it this way, and etc. They're obviously going to have some like backup like trap cards in their hand. Be like,
Exactly,
okay, well,
exactly.
yeah.
Mm.
Be like, well, I mean, we have it this way, and that's all training is in corporations like this. Like even in like my job or whatever, they make you go through the training because so they can just blame you if something doesn't go right or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like,
But oh no, continue. Sorry, I'll pick
yeah, I was
up
saying
after.
like, so like in like the main thing in like where I work at, all right, they have you go through like the training of like, don't sell cigarettes to underage people, don't sell alcohol to underage people. That way, when that does accidentally happen or something like that, the company can blame you for that because you've went through the training, whatever. And so that's what this is going through
Mm.
here. They're like, we have the training of like all this stuff, whatever, and we have everything like set into the policy. It's just, they're going to start blaming the staff for it. They're not going to blame the managers for it. They're going to blame the staff, and that's how this lawsuit's probably going to go.
Mm. Well, yeah, we'll see how it. Like, there was another spokesperson. Who said this? I don't really say. But
Fran Pallinson?
Oh
Well,
no,
that's this one
IGN.
that we just read.
eh,
Mm.
Yeah, IGN. What's it? Trying to quickly say. It was just labeled as a spokesperson. Okay, so an Activision Blizzard spokesperson sent the following statement in response to the allegations. This is different. We value diversity and strive to foster a workplace that offers inclusivity for everyone. There is no place in our company or industry or any industry for sexual misconduct or harassment of any kind. We take every allegation seriously and investigate all claims. In cases related to misconduct, action was taken to address the issue. A DFEH includes distorted and, in many cases, false descriptions of Blizzard's past. We have been extremely cooperative with the DFEH throughout their investigation, including providing them with extensive data and ample documentation, but they refused to inform us what issues they perceived. They were required to by law to adequately investigate and want to have in good faith discussions with us to better understand and resolve any claims or concerns before going to litigation, but they failed to do so. Instead, they rushed to file an inaccurate complaint, as we will demonstrate in court. That's like very aggressive. We are sickened by the reprehensible conduct of the DFEH to drag into the complaint the tragic suicide of an employee who passing has no bearing whatsoever on this case, and with no regard for her grieving family. While we find this behavior to be disgraceful and unprofessional, it is unfortunately an example of how they have conducted themselves throughout the course of their investigation. It is this type of irresponsible behavior from unaccountable state bureaucrats that are driving many of the state's best businesses out of California. Holy shit. That's that is really bad. Okay, the picture of the DFEH paints is not the Blizzard workplace of today. Over the past several years and continuing since the initial investigation started, we have made significant changes addressing company culture and reflect more diversity within our leadership teams. We've updated our code of conduct to emphasize a strict non retaliation focus, amplified internal programs and channels for employees to report violations, including the ask list with a confidential integrity hotline, and introduced an employee retaliation team dedicated to investigating employee concerns. We have strengthened our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and combined our employees' networks as a global level to provide additional support. Employees must also undergo regular and anti harassment training and have done so for many years. We put tremendous effort into creating fair and rewarding compensation packages and policies that reflect our culture and business, and we strive to pay all employees fairly for equal or substantially similar work. We take a variety of proactive steps to ensure their pay is driven by non discriminatory factors. For example, we reward and compensate employees based on their performance, and we conduct extensive anti discrimination trainings, including all those who are part of the compensation process. We're confident in our ability to demonstrate our practices as an equal opportunity employer that fosters a supportive, diversive, and inclusive workplace for our people. And we are committed to continuing this effort in the years to come. It is a shame that the DFEAH did not want to engage with us on what they thought they were seeing in their investigation.
So
So they've accused them of lying too,
no,
or not being fair with them. So
yeah, they immediately went political with this. This is typical.
yeah,
This is typical Republican fucking corporation like jargon that they're saying, because you can immediately tell as soon as they said driving companies out of California.
Hogue went over this. Hogue went over this in their video. Them being an actual lawyer as well, they were like, "Holy shit, what the fuck are they saying?" And they were like, "This is clearly an exec not going through PR officially and just releasing a statement." And PR team are going, "Oh my god, what have you done?"
Yeah.
So, especially stuff like he was highlighting, it is this type of irresponsible behavior from accountable state bureaucrats that are driving many of the best companies out of California, businesses out of California. Sorry, that is like you are doing a witch hunt on us, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's really bad.
You gonna say something, Dalit?
Wow, I was saying this is all like gray area truths they're saying that don't much matter. But yeah, no, like it's exactly as Leek and I guess Hogue said. This is clearly someone who probably shouldn't have put this out, or at least didn't clear the statement with the higher ups.
And this is how you know all of this, like the responses from all of these management or spokespeople are more than like 70% untrue. When you have a document signed by over 800 Activision Blizzard employees currently that are saying, "What the fuck are you guys talking about? This is 100% true. What the fuck?" And like I hate to make you read more stuff, but could you read that? Could you read that? Because I suck at reading.
Wait, which one? The Verge one?
The Verge one, yeah, the Verge one.
This is a letter. Full below?
Yeah, this is this is a letter from the employees to management of Activision Blizzard.
Oh, would Dalit like to read? It's his turn.
Yeah.
Oh, I do not have it up, but
it's the Verge one. My mouth is dry. Blah, blah, blah. I need more water.
Okay, so I'm assuming you just mean the one to the leaders of Activision Blizzard, correct?
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look. To the leaders of Activision Blizzard, we, the undersigned, agree that the statements from Activision Blizzard Inc. and their legal counsel regarding the DFEH lawsuit, as well as the subsequent internal statement from Francis Townsend, are abhorrent and insulting to all that we believe our company should stand for. To put it clearly and unequivocally, our values as employees are not accurately reflected in the words and actions of our leadership. We believe these statements have damaged our ongoing quest for equality inside and outside of our industry, categorizing the claims that have been made as distorted and, in many cases, false, creates a company atmosphere that disbelieves victims. It also casts doubt on our organization's ability to hold abusers accountable for their actions and foster a safe environment for victims to come forward in the future. These statements make it clear that our leadership is not putting our values first. Immediate corrections are needed from the highest level of the organization. Our company, wait, our company executives have claimed that actions will be taken to protect us, but in the face of legal action and the troubling official responses that have followed, we no longer trust that our leaders will place employee safety above their own interests. To claim this is a truly meritless and irresponsible lawsuit while seeing so many current and former employees speak out about their own experiences regarding harassment and abuse is simply unacceptable. We call for official statements that recognize the seriousness of these allegations and demonstrate compassion for victims of harassment and assault. We call on Frances Townsend to stand by her word to step down as executive sponsor of the ABK Employee Women's Network as a result of as a result of the damaging nature of her statement. We call on the executive leadership team to work with us on new and meaningful efforts that ensure employees as well as our community have a safe place to speak out and come forward. We stand with our, we stand with all our friends, teammates, and colleagues, as well as the members of our dedicated community who have experienced mistreatment or harassment of any kind. We will not be silenced. We will not stand aside, and we will not give up until the company we love is a workplace we can all feel proud to be part of again. We will be the change.
This was signed by over 800 Activision Blizzard employees.
Yeah, almost like the real spirit of the company was put into this response and not any of the other ones.
Yeah. So that immediately tells you that, like, the leadership is definitely, like, going into full corporate PR mode where they're not going to really want to actually do anything.
It shouldn't come as any great surprise. We've seen the pay difference between executives and those working on the ground floor. This is even before you get into the further division by sex. So yeah, the workers are absolutely right. These people who have come out with anything to say thus far have been protecting the higher ups or themselves and been putting the well-being of those in the firing line absolutely secondary to their own. Yeah. And this was brilliant. This was brilliant, and I'm happy that it's gained traction.
Yeah, like, it's just ridiculous. Like, I knew things were probably pretty bad over at Blizzard, but this was not to what I expected. And it's definitely pretty telling. A lot of people at the moment are having their different ways of response to this, like players and everything. Like, some of them are boycotting, some of them are not boycotting, which is acceptable. I mean, I've been boycotting Activision Blizzard games for the past 4 years, because like I said, the quality of their games have went down increasingly, and then pretty much as soon as Bobby Kotick laid off 800 employees just to get a $200 million fucking bonus 2 years ago, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm like, there's no point. And do I like Blizzard games? Yeah, I want to play Diablo 2. I like playing Diablo 3. Am I going to be playing those games? No, I'm not. But people that don't want to boycott, that's completely fine.
Yeah, I mean, there are many yeah, there are many discussions about this. So if the best way to make a statement, maybe boycotting is your way of doing it, but really, it's to speak up.
Yeah.
You have to make the voices heard. You need to write to anybody that you can. And this is not just happening in the games industry. This can happen in your own company, where you work, your workplace, the place where you live. Like, if you see this kind of thing, speak up. If it's one of your friends being an asshole, pull them aside. Don't just watch them and let them do it.
Call them a fucking asshole.
This is something you have to be active about. it's don't poo-poo it or wave it off. Oh, he's just being silly. He's not really an asshole. I know him. Like, no, no.
No,
Like,
call him
don't
out.
do that. Like, yes,
Speak up.
it is
Don't
important.
don't just be like, oh, this is just a one-off thing. No, if somebody does it once.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, fuck you. Don't do it. It's not
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
And like I said, for the people that are like, what is this? Hazelnutty Games said it really well.
Mm,
The
yeah.
good thing about not boycotting is that it's and if you are disgusted by it and you're not boycotting, it keeps people that are disgusted by it in the community,
Mhm.
so that they can point it out if they ever see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
if everybody that's
Yep.
disgusted by it boycotts and leaves, and then you're just going to be left with the people that aren't disgusted by it, and they're just going to keep going
Exactly.
on and on and on and on and on with it. So it's
Yep,
always
yep,
good
yep,
to
yep.
keep the people that are disgusted by it in the community, just so they can keep an eye on it. But again, if people that want to boycott, they can. Like, I mean, like even
Mhm.
Asmongold said he feels weird by even playing Blizzard music on his stream now.
Mm.
Because he just doesn't feel right, because he's a 25-year like fan of Blizzard games. And this coming, like, people that are fans are going to be betrayed. Like, I mean, if something came out with Square Enix about this stuff, well, I'd feel immensely betrayed, because I've been a fan of their games ever since playing Kingdom Hearts 1. So,
Mm.
so it's understandable. However way you wanna like bring attention to this is perfectly okay, as long as you're not harassing current Blizzard employees, past Blizzard employees, or content
Mm.
creators that are playing Blizzard games, or anybody that's boycotting. Don't like dealing with harassment by doing harassment is not good. It's the worst
Yeah,
way to
yeah, it's
deal with
kind of
it.
protective. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's pretty much all we can honestly really talk about on it, because it's an ongoing
Mm.
thing. So I mean, we'll hear
It
things.
is, yeah.
Honestly,
Is there
something
any
new could come
dates
out
for
tomorrow
any of
about it.
the That's true. Is there any proposed dates for the court hearing
Like,
or
for I don't think so, not yet. Because this was just the lawsuit being filed.
filed? All right.
So like
Yeah.
obviously the prosecutors then will go to court. We'll have like hearings with the judge, and they'll be like, okay, well, we'll have this specific hearing this day and this specific hearing.
Yeah, it might be a
It's
while
gonna be a
then.
process. It's gonna be a process.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
So it might be slow ongoing. We'll probably hear some more news. And we could hear more news tomorrow, to be honest. It could be a
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
fast moving.
absolutely.
It could be like with
Yeah, yeah.
lawsuits, it's weird. It can be a fast moving one, or it can be a slow moving one. I've followed a couple of lawsuits over the past couple of years, and it's taken like, so the first couple of months might be like there might be a lot of information coming out like really fast, but as they start
Mm.
going through a couple of hearings or whatever, it's going to start to slow down. Especially in COVID times, where you're not going to be able to get like a bunch of court hearings very quickly, especially in the state of California, where they're going to be pretty strict on that.
Mhm.
So it's we'll definitely be like, I mean, like I said, we can get something tomorrow, and so we'll probably talk about it like later on at some point in time. But as soon as like news comes out, we'll be updated. We'll talk about it. I know some of us will tweet about it.
For sure,
Um,
for sure.
But yeah, it's a very disgustingly heinous thing that's been happening, and it needs to fucking change. And the only way that's going to happen is if people keep talking about it. Don't get it swept under the rug like what happened with Riot. Because I already don't like playing Riot games half the time, and I know that as soon that came out, that was like a big news for a week, and then you never heard about it ever again.
Yeah, it's an out of court settlement, I do believe, or something like that.
Which
I
is shitty.
I suppose it depends on the terms. Yeah, it depends on the terms of the settlement too, like including not talking about it again. So
yeah,
it could be. Don't know what happened though.
So who knows? But yeah, definitely. If you see this shit in any community you're in, speak up, point it out.
Yep.
Because that's the only way. That's the only way things are gonna change. Don't let up on it, because the moment you this is an anime statement. The moment you let you lift your leg off the neck of the lion, it's gonna bite back.
It's a simple thing. Remember, we as members of the community can shape it.
Yeah.
It's up to us,
Mm-hmm.
not even so much those who moderate or have created it, to make the community that we want to be a part of.
Yep. This includes your friends and stuff, like,
This
like,
does.
yeah. It's actually more important if it is people you know personally.
Yeah, it is very more important. Always call them out. Do we have any plans this week?
Mayhap I am playing more Final Fantasy 14.
Man, that critically
Mayhap.
acclaimed MMORPG.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really curious about this convention thing. I'll keep blathering on about it, but
I know you
are.
You'll be able to
can't
talk
wait
about
to
it
hear
next week.
about it.
Yeah, you'll be able to talk about it next week.
Yeah,
If-
it's true.
If it weren't for the fact that it were on Crystal and I no longer have a character there, I probably would have resubbed just to attend.
I've got work for
Well, like I
days,
said, it's
so-
also streamed. You don't have to actually physically attend, as physically as a digital character is. But you know what I mean.
I will attend.
Just so.
Attend the stream because I'll have it on during
Yeah, there's
work.
loads of streams. I mean, there's a number of guests. There's Sigh. I think Happy's doing it too. There's Joe Cat.
Speaking of content
loads of other
creators
people.
in 14 or ever, one person that I have really enjoyed that has blown up recently is Kogon's so fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah.
He is so he did an Asmongold impression a couple of days ago, and it's fucking hilarious. He put tape all over his face to make it look like he had a beard and like really big bushy eyebrows or whatever. And he like when he was doing it, like the Asmongold stuff, he was like moving his eyebrows like what's up, boys? We're gonna beat this boss's dick off. It's fucking that he's hilarious. He's got I think he's got a panel at LunarCon as well. I know he's gonna be there.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, he's hilarious as hell, and I love that he's been blowing up. But yeah, I look forward to hearing about it. Like I said, I'll if they do stuff at night, like later on, late in the night, I will hop on my Crystal character to check around.
Yeah, the first day starts at 3 p.m. PDT. That's opening ceremony and stuff like that.
6
and
p.m.
then
for me.
It's, I guess, every day it's very similar. It's 3 p.m. onward. Yeah. I'm not sure about D2 and 3.
They're treating this very much like a convention. So if you've ever been to one, you'll find this to be familiar.
Yeah.
But also, harass your friendly 14 streamer. See if they can restream it when they're not streaming and enjoy it when
that's true.
can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I will like I said, if they're doing stuff late at night, because I work on that whole weekend, I think.
Yeah, the schedule is there. You can check it.
Yep. Yeah. What's that website one more time?
Yeah.
Oh my god. lunarcon.net/schedule.
Hey.
I did say that right, didn't I? I think so.
You did.
Yeah.
As for me, I'm going to be doing Survival of College with a smattering of Monstrum Nox, other Latin words, and I will try to catch a bit of that LunaCon. There's so many people I want to see stream that, so that's my plan.
Yep. I'm not sure if the non main events are streamed. I think they're only streaming on their channel, the main event. So you have to check who is doing what and then find them.
Yes.
There'll be like a hashtag and stuff, no doubt.
I'm gonna try to play Symphonia, which I really need to because I need to get to the start of this game. That way I can blast through like the other 3 games on my fucking list. Because Vesperia, Zestiria, and Berseria are gonna be easy to fucking blast through since they're all fucking modern and actually are like decent games, except for Zestiria, which is a shit game, but I'm gonna be making fun of it the entire time I'm playing. I don't have any breath in my lungs. let's see here. Genshin Impact. I'm going super ham in it, so I'm gonna probably keep going super ham in it. I'm gonna be learning some Japanese.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, gotta get my Nihongo on.
Gambarimasu, gambate, etc.
Yeah.
Thank you, stay.
Oh, what else am I gonna be doing? I've been getting a lot more into anime. I have found my one true waifu in anime.
Oh goodness, here we go.
Yeah. I really hate the anime ReZero as I'm watching it. But holy shit, is Rem the one true waifu of all anime in general?
Oh wow! Of all anime.
Of all anime.
Amazing.
It's just unfortunate that it's just all unfortunate she's in this shitty anime with the shitty main character.
Okay.
No, this main character.
It's fine. You can write a fan fiction and then remove her from that setting. Why?
I'm not that type of person.
He lied openly to the listeners.
No, I don't write fan fictions. What the hell?
He lied again.
You draw though.
No.
You draw though. You can draw fan art.
I do not. I mean, I drew like a decade ago.
Don't lie to me. I saw your drawings recently.
I drew like a decade ago. I cannot.
I have sown chaos.
I cannot do that now with Carpal Tunnel. No. See, I don't need to make fan fictions because other people have made fan fictions for me. So, I can just piggyback off the people that have already made fan fictions. So
there you go.
That's what doujins are for. And then that's actually all I'll be doing this week is Genshin and Symphonia, and I guess watching LunarCon stuff. Yep. And maybe watching Land Before Time now because it just said yep.
No, that makes me so sad immediately.
It does make me so sad.
No.
Poor ducky.
Poor ducky.
No.
But yeah, that's it for this week. We will get together and talk about what we're going to be talking about next week. Hopefully something good, not something horrible. Yeah.
Be good out there, internet. Give us good news.
Yeah. Call your friends out, please, and give us good news. Yes, thank you. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Before you go, remember to like, comment, and sub to us. Not only does it help out the channel and let us know what you're into, but it also makes you 100% cooler than everybody else. I checked with Aqua. It's definitely true.